Oh boy, it's Wednesday. It's a show we call The Inner Journey. My name is Rob Morales, RCO Network. Good people, better business, discovering the best of you. As you notice, I'm here on a Wednesday with my esteemedly lovely co-host of The Inner Journey today, Miss, and always, Mary VanAlstyne. Oh, yeah, we lost her. I screwed up on the thing. Hold on, I'll get you back, though. Don't worry about this. There we go. There she is. My lovely Heather. She'll always be a Heather to me, but to everyone else, she'll be Mary. So we're coming on here on a Wednesday talking about emotions. It's been a while. We had a little bit of a break. Somebody had to go to Amsterdam, Europe, and many other places just to explore life and enjoy the things that life brings.
Yes, Amsterdam and Barcelona, Spain.
How was that, by the way?
It was amazing.
I know, I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
I was very jelly. Very jelly. Yeah. But we're here again on a Wednesday to talk about emotions and how you use emotions to not only make yourself better, but make yourself better in life and business and all the other things. That's why we talk about emotions, because it is the bridge between our physical plane and our spiritual plane.
It absolutely is, yes.
So welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Boy, so today's topic, right? It's about mastering yourself, and I think there's so many things to talk about, but really this whole journey in life is really finding yourself. Wouldn't you say?
I would 100% agree with that. Yes. Yeah.
And it's hard to. I think so much of us, we're caught up in our day-to-day life, with other people, with other things going on there, that we just kind of become numb to exploring those things and really talking about emotions and stuff. And so we just filter it in with like alcohol.
Yes.
And just TV, and distract ourselves from really finding out who we are, which is disappointing, I think, in some levels. But I think finding ourselves is really truly what we're here to do.
I believe that is spirituality, is taking the deep dive in to learn who we truly are.
And you would agree that sometimes we do need those YOLO moments, right?
Exactly. Yes. YOLO.
Does everybody know what YOLO is? If so, hit the comment section and fill us in.
There was actually a club in Amsterdam that we walked by called Club YOLO. So
YOLO.
Yeah. Yep. They got it figured out.
Yeah. So YOLO is you only live once, for those people that are like 35 and older who don't know.
Who know what it is.
But to the 35 and under crowd, they sure know what that is. But I think this journey, I was telling Mary before the show, it's like, I've lived this is my second life. I started off, doing the whole white picket fence thing, getting married young. I got married at 21. I got married to somebody who had a kid, started that life, had a family very early on, and just kind of went through the whole motions. We talked about hating middle school. We hate middle school, especially with the kid when they're discovering themselves. And as they get into high school, all that stuff, and it's for me, I feel like I'm in my second half of life. I'm a little bit older, a little bit more wiser, a little bit more experienced, and I'm using those experiences now to really enjoy them. Mm-hmm. And I think you're pretty much the same way too.
Yeah, I think I'm on my 8th life.
8th
or 9th, I don't know. Yeah, no, I my
story. She's very feline.
I started out very young. Yeah, especially today for some reason. But I started out really young. I had my child really young, and I thought that I needed to do it a certain way. So I attempted to create a life that was what I thought it should be, and then I ended up, and that was a teenage pregnancy. So then I did it, with my middle son in my 20s, and started the second half of my life, the second eighth of my life. And then, I had a life-changing car accident. I've had a lot of different things. And I recently was divorced, 7 years ago. And,
about the same time.
Now 43, raising 8-year-olds. And so I've gone through all those different phases, and I'm very grateful for all those phases, because they brought me to this space in life where I have very much the YOLO mentality in how I see everything, and the appreciation I have for everything, and the way that I embrace life now is so much different.
Yeah, and I think it really takes tragedy, something really catastrophic in your life, to really make you think about, like, hey, where am I going? I was in this car, and I the example I give, especially in my marriage, is like, I was in this car with this person for 12 years. And they somehow took the wheel, and then they said, hey, get outside. There's something you need to check on. And they just took off. They just left me on the side of the road and just took off. that is kind of like the metaphor of how I felt, in that spot. But, when you're left alone and desolate, you kind of have to figure out where to go from there. You have to figure out how to get a car again. You have to figure out what direction. Do I go back or do I go forward? There's so many things in tragedy that I think we can embrace and really don't do so. I think is a failure for people to recognize that, hey, that's an opportunity to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to look at my life and wonder why all these different things had happened to me. And, now I'm at a point in my life where I'm very grateful for everything that, quote unquote, happened to me. And now I refer to those things as things that happened for me because of the amount of growth that happened through going through those different tragedies or challenges that forced me to take a different perspective on life, and figure things out and do things a different way. It was really very eye-opening. And through one of my greatest tragedies, I found the gift of gratitude for the first time in my life at age 24. Yeah. And it was the first time that I wasn't walking around wishing that I was dead. What did that take was me almost dying in a car accident. So I absolutely, and to tie this into like watching my kids go through struggles, right? As a mom, you want to save them from all of that. And now I have the perspective of like, I don't want to necessarily save that. I want to be there. I don't want to save them from anything. I want to be there for them and guide them, but I want them to have those experiences so that they can have a richer life, And
I think the hard part with kids, and as you're talking, this whole life is really about you. When you have kids, you're kind of the culture forces you to take care of them, which is appropriate. I mean, they're very vulnerable. They're not, themselves. But it's such a balance to try to like maintain yourself and your sense of like your own passion, your own career, and then think of somebody else. Yeah. It wasn't their fault. When I had my stepchild, it wasn't her fault. And, I imposed the idea of like, I'm going to be her dad in her life, and I'm going to provide whatever it is being a dad was, what I knew at the time. And it's a challenge to be like, hey, I need to take care of myself, but then I also have this other person in my life that I need to take care of too. And it's like, well, who do I service first? Mm-hmm. And every time I service myself, it's like, well, I'm being a little selfish.
Trust me, I struggled with that my whole life. I mean, for the first half of my life, while my older boys were younger, I was very much a sacrificial parent, right? Yeah. It was all about them. My needs came last. And, I didn't find out until later on that not taking care of myself actually was not benefiting them. Because here you are, putting yourself on the back burner. There's no way any human is not going to build some sort of resentment or, burnout through that. And so, now that I've got almost like, it's like a second generation with my younger kids, my older boys are almost pretty much grown. One's almost grown. And I've got these younger ones now, and I'm looking at how the balance in my life is so much different. Yeah. I have a sense of identity myself. I mean, you see, I just went to Europe for 10 days, and so many parents won't give themselves permission to do things like that. And what I realized is, the first few times that I took that kind of selfish time away, it was very hard. And I thought, and I was beating myself up, just like you were saying. And then I realized after I came back, like, I'm so much better for them. I went and did either a personal growth class or I did a vacation that refreshed me, and I came back a better for them, and then so it's just like everything else. You do it a little and you see the results. Yeah. Do it a little more, see the results. And then next thing you know, you're taking a 10-day trip to Europe, and you don't have that guilty conscience because all in all, it's better for everyone,
So I think there's two things to recognize: that A, you need to service yourself in some way.
Yes, absolutely.
You need to continue to explore this journey of yourself and find out who you are. Yeah. But it also involves the people around you too. There is a recognition that, the people you involved in your life have an influence in who you choose. And I mean, a child isn't a choice. I mean, that's kind of, you're just given what you're given. But they're the people you choose, and that will influence their life, will influence your life. And, again, I think at the end of the day, you have to really be selfish for what your direction is. But I think that the thing that people struggle with is choosing what direction to take. When I'm left on the side of the road by my ex-wife, it's like, well, do I go back? Do I regress back, or do I move forward? Mm-hmm. And do I have the strength to move forward? It's just a whole other slew of questions in itself. So it really is the people in your life and who you choose.
Yeah, who you choose to surround yourself with, and we've talked about that in other shows too. Carefully selecting those that you surround yourself, because your beliefs will start to form through their beliefs. And so it's like the number one important thing that I've discovered over the past few years is be very careful about who is influencing my thinking and my life, right?
So seriously?
Which is so seriously.
And so we're going to end the show a little bit sooner than normal today, just because, there's we get into these topics all the time and then we kind of go off and banter too much sometimes.
Yep. Sorry.
No, believe me. So I think at the end of the day, it's about letting go.
Yes.
I always kind of, the metaphoric kind of visual that I have is like, we're all caught in this river. We don't control the river, and the river is a metaphor for time. Time is just kind of beyond us, and we hold so much to the edge that we're just don't want to let go, because if we let go, who knows what's going to happen? And having these YOLO moments is sometimes letting go of that for a second, but then so much of it is running back and trying to grab the edge again. But if we live life and just letting go and letting that current kind of take place, still controlling what's around us, obviously we can kind of control direction. Again, time is just fluent. Time is just ongoing. It just doesn't stop. No matter how much we sit down and pout or throw a fit or run away, time is still going. These bags are still heavy. They're getting saggier, much just like everything else. So, Miss Mary, how do we let go? How do we just let it go? What can we tell people out there?
Okay, so part of letting go of like reality as you know it sometimes is getting outside of your environment, right? Get outside your normal daily routines. Put yourself in a different situation. Do something that scares you. Go to another country.
Like Amsterdam?
Or go to Amsterdam. That's my advice for everyone.
What do they do in Amsterdam?
Hang out and have fun.
Is that what happens?
It's just a really peaceful place where they really are just living life.
And I saw that view. Man, she got an awesome view. Was it a lake? Was it a river? I don't remember.
I don't know what you'd call it. Water.
It was a lot of water.
It was a lot of water.
So if you follow Mary on Facebook, you can kind of troll her a little bit and see the view that she had.
Troll me for not knowing what that body of water is right there.
There's a lot of bodies out there. So yes, I think definitely stepping away from your current situation really kind of solidifies, or at least gives you an idea of where you're from, or what you stepped away from.
Something outside of your little bubble, basically. Whether that's, maybe you don't have the means to go to Amsterdam or another state, but drive to another city. It doesn't even matter, Go to a social event you would never go to. Hang out with some new people, It's like go experience something you wouldn't have experienced before. Step outside the bubble of the day-to-day routine of everything that reminds you of who you are or who you're supposed to be.
Well, number two for me is where I'm at in life right now is that I feel like this is my second life. And before, it was so much pressure to do everything right, the right person to marry, raising the kid the right way, having the right career. And that all shit left me within like a 3-month span. So that all ended, and I was in a depressed state where like I didn't know who I was anymore outside of that. And as I look back, I ultimately, I'm very grateful all that shit happened all at once, because it was almost like I died and rose again.
Rebirth.
And so much from that point is about embracing just the moments. Embracing even the agonies and the fear and the disappointment. It's like, hey, you know what? This was all supposed to be for me. This is all given to me as a gift. What can I enjoy about these frustrating moments? What can I enjoy about these disappointing moments? So much of it is choosing a different point of view now.
Yeah.
And it's really about the experience. Okay, I was given this new life, and everything with it. So why not enjoy it versus, struggling to fighting against the current?
Yeah, it's such a wasted opportunity when people are handed a gift such as a challenge. Yeah. And, one of the things that can very easily make it the gift is just to ask, what am I supposed to learn from this? Versus, I can't believe this is happening to me, and going completely fully victim to it. Therefore, completely missing out on the opportunity for a huge life lesson. Just know that everything is happening for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a thumbs up if you ever feel like, hey, why is this happening to me? Is one of those things that comes across your mind.
I think we all have that, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And so, one of the things we talked about before the show too, and we just had our business networking event, And the one thing that I've always like kind of given a metaphor to people like at our events is like, I really want people to connect. I really want people to connect on a different level than they ever had before. And one of the metaphors I give there is like just being a kid, you know, and do you remember being a kid?
Absolutely. I'm still a big kid.
Remember it?
I really am.
I do. I will testify to that. But like, remember your first day of like kindergarten?
Yeah.
There was no such thing as gender. There was no race. There was no like animosity against anybody. If anybody like, if you're angry with anybody, it's because, you know, they stole base.
Yeah.
Or they pitched you the ball wrong.
They took your toy.
They took your toy.
You were like your eye in that toy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so much of it is just enjoying being a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish that people would go back there. Because there's no titles. There's no the pressure of being a kid is like, well, am I gonna eat today?
Yeah.
You know, am I going to
what's for dessert?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. And it's so much more enjoyable in life when you think in terms of just being a kid.
Yeah, I always talk to people about having a childlike energy, you know, a childlike heart, childlike spirit. And I feel very grateful that I've somehow managed to maintain that, where I have a sense of wonder and awe for everything, you know, and it's really a fun way to be in, to just stop taking yourself so seriously. Nothing is that serious, you know. No. It's like, make the stupid comment, like cross your eyes and stick out your tongue, which I do all the time.
If you watched our video, we do.
Probably in inappropriate moments, but you know what I mean? It's like, I just stopped taking life so seriously. And for me, it did take that tragedy. I'll admit, it did take that tragedy, and it takes a lot of work to get over yourself, get over the looking good. You know, I know a thing I was doing for a while to start regaining that was dressing up in stupid costumes and going out in public and doing something that would completely humiliate me in my adult self.
Are those on Facebook?
If you scroll back a few years, yeah, absolutely. I'm running around in a tutu, but yeah. But yeah, we can show some childlike things in the future. But yeah, being childlike is so important.
Yeah, and
childlike, not childish.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do too many stupid things. You know, you're only like 18 once, and you can only get away with so much. You know? But it becomes again that sense of the childlike person inside you is really who wants to break free. You know, it's so much better. And I will tell you, as a business owner, if you're a business owner, if this resonates with you, it's so much easier and so much nicer to go to a meeting and just be yourself. You know, instead of saying, "Oh, well, I'm Robert Morales. I'm the real estate agent. I did 4.7 million last year in sales."
It's
and
exhausting.
And it's like
it's exhausting putting on this costume,
this
right?
face,
yeah.
You know, and say, I'm Robert. I like to write poetry. I like to, take. I take my socks halfway off my foot at night. It's a weird habit. I don't know why. It just feels more comfortable to have my toes warm and not my heels. That's just me. And there is a sense of like pressure that's relieved when you can just be yourself and say what you want to say, even if it's just a dirty word. I say the F-bomb all the time.
Yeah.
I try not to on this show because, I'm mindful of who's watching. But there is a bonus that I have, if you want to hear the bonus.
Of course.
So the first step is to really separate from yourself. So that's step one. Separate from your reality and who you are. The second part is to embrace the journey. Like, hey, this is just meant for you. Embrace it, good and bad, for better, for worse. It's meant for you. Just enjoy it. And then the third step is being a kid. But there is a bonus step.
What is that?
Oh shit, we're coming to the end. I can't. We got to end the show now.
Cliffhanger.
I'm just worried. I'm just kidding. So the bonus tip is just don't worry about the outcome. You brought that up.
Stop being so attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is truly about the journey, and it's not about the outcome. It's not about like, the daily event. So when we plan these events and do these things, I tell the staff, I tell the members, I tell the sponsors, it's not the end. The event is not the end. It's really all these little pieces, these meetings that we have together, the fun that we have, the joking around that we do, all the way up to that. The event is just like the party.
Yeah.
It's all the things we do together that really make the relationship, that really make the journey.
Exactly. So in a nutshell, the destination is the journey.
In a nutshell. Seriously?
Yes. Seriously.
I forgot the name of the show. We said seriously, and then I forgot off the... taking a chill pill. We are taking a chill pill. We actually took a chill pill before we got on the air. So
we did. Hence all the laughing.
So, yeah. We won't say what it was. So, is there anything else? What have you learned today, Miss Mary? Because we're ending the show a little bit sooner than normal.
Yeah, you know, I've just learned that I love living. Right? Really, like, I love all these little experiences. I just love coming in here and collaborating with you, sharing, being goofy on air, being scared, saying something
there's millions
stupid,
of people watching us right now.
You know, oh yeah, right.
Okay, maybe about 10.
But you know, it really just, I'm really just getting a lot of confirmation about just like that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all laying out perfectly the way it's supposed to lay out. And that I get to enjoy every moment of it. And that I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
And I love these moments with you.
This is awesome. You know, and when you actually do let go, I do believe you start seeing other opportunities you would have totally missed under the pressure, under the stress. And there's so many great things that are just coming before you. And if you focus totally on the negative things all the time, you're going to miss so many great moments.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I appreciate every great moment I have with Miss Mary here.
Aw, yeah. And you become more successful all in all, too. You know, you really do. I mean, it seems like a lot of work and, I can't do that. It's going to be slack and I won't be as successful. But since I've learned to let go and do all these concepts that we've talked about, my success has gone through the roof in every area, where my relationships, my business, my, being a parent, my friendships, my romance, like all of it has just exploded. So the more you let go, the better life gets, and it's this release of control, release of attachment that lets it all happen. So anyway, I'm rambling again.
That's okay. It's not you.
It's good to be back.
It's the maker's mark. So we'll be coming back to you. We'll be coming back at you next week. Exploring the inner journey and the emotions that it takes to be a business person, but to also enjoy life.
Yes.
We'll be back next week. So tune in, Miss Mary. Troll her, follow her, do what you must with her, as I will myself.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time.